Perfectionism is a very clever alias for self-will.
Perfectionism is literally anti-Christ.
We are not sovereign. We have no control over anything in this life. Nothing. You might think you have control, but you don't.
Ooh, perfectionism is an epidemic that has been plaguing a lot of people and destroying a lot of lives. And we're going to talk about it because, honestly, it is something that I am learning as well. And it's probably a little bit, it's right there with people pleasing. And y'all know how I feel about people pleasing if you have been following long enough. Y'all know how I feel about people pleasing. And perfectionism is one of those things that are right neck and neck with that. We're going to talk about this, but first, hey friend, welcome to my channel, Creating Elite Mental Gems. This channel is dedicated to leveling up in all areas of your life. So let us learn together, read together, but most importantly, grow together. Now, without further ado, let's get into this video. If you're just now learning about perfectionism, I have an article linked in the description from Very Well Mind, but I've realized that those are some aspects that, wow, I didn't know this about myself either until one of the ministers at our church was just talking on this topic to the youth. And I was like, oh my goodness, wait. I'm checking in a lot of boxes. And I was like, yo, let me do a video on this because so many people might struggle with this and never knew and want help to be delivered from this perfectionism. So let's talk about the first way to identify if you're a perfectionist. It's also hand in hand with imposter syndrome, which I will link that video in the comment section for you guys also. But they're all into the all or nothing thinking. Perfectionists, like high achievers, set and work hard to achieve big goals, whereas a high achiever can be satisfied knowing they did their best and achieved a goal. A perfectionist will accept nothing less than perfection. Almost perfect is seen as failure. So if it's not perfect, they'd rather just not do it at all. They won't accept that. I used to be like that. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not like that like that to that degree now. Because I will just put this stuff out there. I'm not like too weird on that. Something might not be perfect, but I will stress myself on how to perfect it afterwards. So say you're not on a chronic level where it's like, I'll use YouTube as an example. Oh my goodness, the audio sucked in today's video, right? And you're like, oh my goodness, today's audio sucked in my video. But you know what? This is what I got right now. I promised I would post today, so let me go do it. Sorry, everyone, the audio sucks, right? But later on, you're thinking and looking up no microphones, this and that. Like you're excessively looking to make sure next time it's not like that. And if you cannot find a solution, it will depress you and then you give up. So that's another form of perfectionism. Also, it's like if you cannot find a solution for your problem, say I cannot find no mic, there's no software that can sharpen my voice or anything like that, I quit. That's it. I'm overwhelmed. I'm not going to continue to produce this quality if you feel like you're stuck on that quality. And there's a lot of people that we know that are like that, where they get into a job and they want to quit after a time because they're like, the production quality of this job that I'm in or this career is just not up to my standards. And it makes them want to give up on the path that they're already in, right? So on the extreme end, it's that you'll quit on projects or things or even on yourself because it's either all or nothing. Like it can be almost perfect, Why that's dangerous is because perfectionists, their goals are higher than the average person. They'll have goals that's probably like, they'll probably first start YouTube and be like, I want 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. That's their goal. And if they don't reach 1 million by the end of the year, they quit. They get discouraged. That's not realistic at all. That's not realistic at all. Even with your niche, you got to build slowly with some things, right? And it's just would be ridiculous for that to happen. Yes, it happens for some people by a stroke of, whatever. They do a video that just happens to go viral because of whatever topic or this and that, whatever. And a lot of them, they'll get that one viral video and the rest of their videos are not. That's what happens with people that get super fast growth as well. Over time, you start to see their views decline. They'll have like a couple videos that have like 1 million views and then the rest have like 10,000 views because it was just that one video that got you there and you didn't build that consistent fan base or base of supporters that will click on every video for you averaging more in views or whatever. This also goes with weight loss, right? It's like, oh, I want to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. Yes, a lot of people do it in a lot of toxic ways, but they don't keep it and maintain it because whatever ways you did it was toxic to begin with. It's not realistic to drop that much weight in that little bit of time. So they're all or nothing and they will find a way to do it. Whereas it would be better to just be like, hey, realistically, I would be proud of myself if I lost 8 pounds in a month, because I used to do that with Yo-Yo. And lately I've been just consistent with it where it's like, no, I'm okay with losing 8 pounds to even 4 pounds in a month. I've been on a slow weight loss journey where I'm looking at my body fat percentage and all of that, and it's going in the direction that it needs to go. I lost over 40 pounds. If you've been following me for some time on this channel, you'll see my older videos, how I was looking. But it's been slow and steady over a year. Like, I didn't lose 40 pounds in 30 days, so I want to make sure I can maintain all the stuff that I'm doing for a lifetime. That when I get to my goal weight, I don't have to still stay on it. Could I easily lose the remaining 20 pounds in 10 days? Absolutely. I know how to. I have before. But will I? No, because it's not sustainable, So perfectionists have to keep that in mind. They have to keep that in mind too, because they go through extremes even with themselves, whether it be your hair, you want to grow 10 inches or 12 inches in a year, that, like, you create huge goals for yourself and then you end up discouraged to the point where you just don't do nothing at all. Perfectionists tend to not accomplish much in life either because they quit often because your goals were too big to begin with. So if you struggle with that and you're stuck in life, that may be one of the reasons why. Next is feeling pushed by fear. High achievers are often pulled towards their goals by a desire to achieve them. They are also happy with any steps made in the right direction. Perfectionists, on the other hand, tend to be pushed by a fear of anything less than perfectly met goal. So there's a difference between being a high achiever, any goal, like, oh my goodness, I reached, I lost 4 pounds. I'm glad that I lost 4 pounds, versus perfectionist is like, I only lost 4 pounds. Do you see what I mean? Oh, you got your YouTube channel. Oh my goodness. I didn't make it to 100K this year, but I'm glad I got to 80,000 2024, right? Where someone will be like, I only got 80,000. And then that bums them out. And they're pushed by fear. When fear is your motivator, you won't succeed when fear is your motivator. Because what happens when the fear wears out, fear doesn't last forever. You start to, Next is having unrealistic standards. Another sign of being a perfectionist is setting goals that may not be reasonable. High achievers can set their goals high, enjoying the fun of going a little further once these goals are reached. Perfectionists often set their initial goals out of reach, which is just what we talked about. And that's usually in dating as well. If you're a perfectionist, it leaks in all areas and aspects of your life. If you're dating, those tend to be the women with impossible standards, the man with impossible standards. If she have one toe that you don't like, then forget that she's got the whole package and she's a 10. I don't want her. If he just breathed the wrong way, everything else that was good about him, you don't want. And you're already tired of him. You're already ready to, find somebody else and stuff. And you have high standards with everything in your life, right? Versus just a high achiever would be someone that is okay. And you could be a perfectionist in different areas of your life, where some people, they might not be perfectionists in many areas, but in their dating life or with their children or maybe in their career, that's where they are. But with their skincare, they're not. With how their diet, they're not. There's a lot of perfectionists that may be overweight. There's a lot of perfectionists that don't really care. They're not perfectionists with their diets, but they're perfectionists with the tidiness of their home, etc. So there's everyone is not a one size fits all. There's differences. The next one is focusing only on results. High achievers can enjoy the process of chasing a goal as much or more than the actual researching of the goal itself. Conversely, perfectionists see the goal and nothing else. They're so concerned with hitting the goal and avoiding failure that they can't enjoy the process of growing and striving. Like, it's like being where you always dreamed. Like, a perfectionist, for example, with weight loss. If you were 186 pounds, like for myself, I was during the pandemic 187 pounds, and I'm short. I'm under, I'm really short. So that was a lot for me. It was a lot. When I got to 160, 164, I was like, the perfectionist in me was just not pleased, even though, okay, I had a couple clothes that were fitting me better, but there was still some that was, and I was just like, and then I had to remind myself, like, Kareen, you are 187, you're 164 right now. You know how much weight you lost? Enjoy the process. And then now, if you're like, okay, you lose more weight. When I got to 154, I'm like, oh my goodness, I went from 187 to 154. But to me, I used to be focused on the dream body, already attaining it, having it, that goal, that I couldn't enjoy just how much weight I really lost. Like, that's a lot of weight. That's a lot of discipline that you have to go from 187 to 154. I'm going to do a weight loss video for you guys once I finally knock out my weight goal, which is soon coming up. So don't worry. But I want to be able to do my before and after and do all of that for you guys. But that was like, enjoy that, enjoy the process. Or even just remember, you used to pray for times like when you were 187 at your peak, eating chips on your bed, you would have prayed to be 154. But because you don't feel like it's enough right now, you're not enjoying the process. You would have prayed to be able to fit this skirt. Okay? When you couldn't pull the skirt past your knees, you would have prayed for that. So relax. Now you're finally got your dream apartment and you're like, it's just, I want a house, I want that. But remember when you had nothing, right? And you say, even with YouTube, like you started, I only have 50K this year. I only have this. But it's like, when you first started, you celebrated the first 100 people that subscribed to you. That was a big deal. The first 1,000, the first this. When you start focusing on only the goal and not appreciating the process, you start to become ungrateful. You start to not have gratitude, to nag, to complain. And then you start to see progress starts to get stunted, and then you quit. Because perfectionists, one thing they love to do is to quit. They love to quit. They don't like to finish what they started because it's not living up to their standards. And those people tend to be stuck a lot more. Even if they're successful, it's by their skin and teeth. They had to really push to get to a successful point because these people always quitting everything they start, right? Next one is feeling depressed by unmet goals. Perfectionists are often less happy than high achievers. While high achievers are able to bounce back fairly easy from disappointment, perfectionists tend to beat themselves up and wallow in negative feelings. When their high expectations go unmet, they struggle to move on when things don't work out the way that they hope to. So they can have intense depression. I'm talking about crying, being in bed, don't want to get up because something didn't work out the way you wanted it to, or didn't get the reception, or maybe you don't understand. Like, I used to be this type of person. If I didn't understand a paper that I was supposed to write or an assignment or this and that, I'd be real depressed to the point of tears. People could cry because it's like, yeah, perfectionists tend to be that. If things in their life don't seem to be in order or the way that they want it, they will be so depressed, and then it starts to affect everyone else in their lives, including them. They can't show up and perform as they should in other areas of their life because they're still stuck on the disappointment of this one thing. So they don't know how to just get up and go. And they're more prone to depression, and it can be something that is holding you back from so much success that you could be having because you don't know how to let go of that depression. And then the next is fear of failure. Perfectionists have a greater fear of failure than high achievers because they place so much stock for results and become disappointed by anything less than perfection. Failure becomes a scary prospect. And since anything less than perfection is seen as a failure, it makes it difficult to get started on anything new. That's the thing, to fear failure. And I always say, experts in anything were once beginners. They had a lot of failures. I have a lot of people that ask me in my daily regular, like, Kareen, how did you get your YouTube started? How did it, blah, blah, blah. They always ask me. And I'm always like, a little piece of me in my heart be like, yo, anything I tell you, you literally could find on YouTube. Because when I first started, I asked nobody because I didn't have nobody to ask. There was no one around me to ask. So what did I go? On YouTube, and I Googled or YouTubed how to start this, like I was obsessively researching. And then There's a time you stop researching and execute. And I started executing. And with every failure, I learned new lessons. I learned how to go about this. When you have issues with the algorithm, or you have issues with copyright, or you have issues with, there's a lot of mistakes I made, a lot of failures, a lot of times that I wanted to quit. But I kept going. And with more time, it's like God rewarded that. And I became more knowledgeable in it to the point where a lot of stuff I can do in my sleep. A lot of stuff I can figure out. And it wasn't because of my own wisdom or strength. Again, all glory to God. But the thing was in being not afraid to fail or to look stupid, to look silly. I looked busted in a lot of old videos. My audio was trash. A lot of things was not it. And even now, quality is not to where I know I will be in like the next 2-3 years, God willing. Things will definitely be better, but it's a learning curve. It's a growing curve, and you have to be willing to fail to grow. Babies, look at them. Imagine if a baby fell once when they were trying to walk and decided, I'm never going to walk again because I fell. The baby would never get up and walk again. But what do a baby do? Every single time they fall, they get back up again. Every single time they fall, they get back up again. They started crawling. Start where you are. Use the baby as an analogy. If you got to crawl right now. If you're in your crawling stage, do it while you're figuring it out. Before, because I have over 500,000 subscribers in my other channel. But there was a time I was crawling. I was in my crawling stage. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just crawling, and I did it. I got up a lot and I fell a lot. I got a lot of embarrassments. I had a lot of stuff happen that I had to learn from. When I did finally decide to go get help, ask people and stuff, a lot of it backfired. But guess what? Every single time, God gave me the strength to get back up again. I lost my channel with the 500K. I lost it for a whole year, almost 2 years. YouTube just took it down. I never gave up fighting for my channel. Never gave up. And the Lord gave it back to me. I never gave up. No matter what it was that I had to do, whether letters, do whatever I had to do. I never gave up. But some people just give up. I never even went to start a whole new channel. I'm like, no, I want this channel back. This is the channel that I'm getting. And you have to have the resilience of a baby. And the other thing is procrastination, right? If you're a perfectionist, you delay a lot. That's self-explanatory, The reason for this is because fearing failure, as they do, perfectionists will sometimes worry so much about doing something imperfectly that they become immobilized and fail to do anything at all. And it can lead them to greater feelings of failure, further perpetuating a vicious, paralyzing cycle. So it's a cycle. It's like the very thing you fear is happening when you procrastinate. You're delaying, and then you're going to look at, because perfectionism is tied, for me, to the spirit of delay. Watch that video also. I did a video on that. But you are procrastinating because you think you're going to fail. You're afraid of failure. So you procrastinate and put it off. I'll get to it this day. I'll get to it that day. I'll get to it this day. And then you look 2-3 years, and then you get more and more depressed. Oh, I could be further. I could be this. One day you just got to get up and do it. Pull your hair back, get up and do it. Go to the gym. Go back to school, situate yourself. That's it. You just got to get up and do it. The more you put off what you have to do, you're delaying the success in your life. There's a lot of places God want to take you, but you delay yourself because of your procrastination, and that is rooted in perfectionism. You delay yourself, and you really have to fight through that. The worst thing you can do is be lazy, and laziness is attached to procrastination, because you'll find every excuse. I know a lot of people that procrastinate so much they say they don't have the time. And then you go and you see them and they're on the couch, they're on the bed. You can see throughout their lives where they have the time. Like, I'm assessing your life for you, and I'm looking at your patterns. I'm looking at your day that you complain so much about little time you have and this and that. And I'm like, I see so many opportunities where you could be doing X, Y, Z. There's no reason why you can't do this. And they look for reasons to justify why. Until 4 or 5 years later, they're crying in depression because they're like, oh my goodness, I never did get this done. But you delayed so much because it's attached to laziness. Another thing is defensive. These people are really defensive because a less than perfect performance is so painful and scary to perfectionists, they will often respond defensively to constructive criticism. High achievers, on the other hand, can see criticism as valuable information that will help improve their future performance. I had to train myself. Again, it's the Lord, that when I would get criticism in the comment section on my other channel, to not take it personally, to not be defensive, to say thank you. Even on this channel, when I first started talking about Christian topics, there was a lot of criticisms of stuff that I got where the people were right. And it hurt, but I was like, oh, they're right about this. And I'm like, Lord, okay, I have to change this. If you stay in the defensive mode, because I said enemies can be the best tools for your success, because enemies will not lie to you. If you have an enemy that want to destroy you, when I look in the comments, I look for haters' comments. I look for it because I know they're not going to lie to me. If it's like, oh, her hair is this, that, busted. Oh, the audio is this, that. They want to humble you so bad that they're telling you what you could do to actually better yourself or better your craft or even better the doctrine that you're saying, your performance. They make you better if you use it as that. It makes you better. Now, there's a toxic side of it. If somebody go tell me, oh, your nose is big or something, I'm not going to go do a nose job because of those comments. Like, come on, common sense. But if it's something I can fix and that's in the will of God, thank you for making that comment. And don't be defensive. You're not always right. Be teachable. Someone can teach you something. And people that are perfectionists, because they feel like if it's not me that does something, then it just won't be it. If not me, then they trust themselves to do everything. Like they become know-it-all within their lives with things that they're doing, that they're always defensive to criticism. It hurts them, Not everyone, because I know perfectionists that are in my life that takes criticism really well. That's not defensive. So not everyone, again, it's not a one size fits all, but for many of them, they don't know how to take it well. And I used to be somebody that definitely didn't know how to take it well. And I had to really work on that. Next is low self-esteem. High achievers tend to have equally high levels of self-esteem. This isn't the case with perfectionists. Although striving for perfectionism is associated with higher self-esteem, when someone with a perfectionist personality evaluates themselves critically, this contributes to low self-esteem instead. Perfectionists can also be lonely or isolated due to their critical nature and rigidity, pushing others away. This can lead to even lower self-esteem, ultimately having a serious impact on the person's self-image and overall life satisfaction, while also impacting their relationship. And I want to say this for all my perfectionists that are watching. I know a video like this may lower your self-esteem even further, where you're like, now you're being critical of yourself and like, oh my goodness, I do fit this. And then it makes you sad. It gets you depressed. It gets you bummed. This is what it's talking about. Because now, and criticizing and analyzing yourself. How a person that doesn't deal with this, like a high achiever, they can analyze where they're wrong, things they need to change, things they have to fix. It don't make them depressed. It energizes them. And they're like, okay, this is what I'm going to work on, and they get to it and this and that. And they don't see themselves as terrible people for having stuff that they need to work on. But someone who deals with perfectionism, the very fact that you can see that you relate to some of these traits really is going to leave you bummed. And you're going to be like, well, where do I start? No, don't look at it this way. Because what is the number one quote? If you know me by now, I'll give you a moment, pause the video, comment the number one quote. I said that's my favorite quote of all time. I have two, but this one's the one I say I want on my tombstone in every video that I say this quote. How can you heal if you don't know you're sick? That's how you got to see it. I praise God every time God reveals a flaw in me. It hurts. I'm sad. I feel bummed because as a perfectionist in my spiritual walk with God, every time I sin, I do a little thing where I'm less than perfect. I feel like God hates me. Oh my goodness, you just messed up. This and that. He's done with you. He's done revealing stuff to you. Da, 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 da. And God is like, I sent my son to literally die for this, for you. You're not going to stay in your sin and abuse, my love and my covering and the blood. You're not going to do that. But at the same token, please stop thinking that you messed up this time and I'm done with you every single time. It's a perfectionist state of mind. If I revealed it to you, the very fact that your conscience is even convicting you of your sins, the very fact that your conscience is convicting you that, hey, you need to challenge yourself to overcome this perfectionism because you're going to be stuck and delayed in poverty, not accomplishing anything. You're going to stay in this weight and never do anything if you're not free from this perfectionist spirit. I'm showing you because I'm going to provide the healing for you. I'm going to help you to heal. God does not reveal things to us if he doesn't want us to act on it. It shouldn't be something to make us depressed, but to motivate us and energize us to know that, praise God, that you have shown to me that this is a problem that I have so that I can work on it. And I'm going to trust you. The fact that you have showed this to me, revealed it to me, I have stumbled upon this video, that's because you are going to equip me to overcome. Because like I said, I pray over all my videos to God, Jesus, the Son. Okay, amen? That whoever stumbles upon this video, they get something out of it. They relate to it. Or even if you don't relate to it, you share it with somebody that does, and they get the message. And that is the Lord starting the healing process.
Perfectionism is a very clever alias for self-will. I think sometimes it's easy for us to say, oh, I'm a perfectionist. Oh, I struggle with perfectionism. And in it, there's almost like this nobility, like, oh, you're striving for perfection. There's this noble quest of like, you want everything to be good. You want everything to be right. And today I'm just going to challenge anybody out there who struggles with perfectionism that maybe that's not what it actually is. Maybe our idea of what is actually perfect is just self-will, because the fact of the matter is if we really truly believe that everything is perfect in God's timing and God has a plan and a purpose for everything, then our idea of what perfection is, this idea that we have that we're striving for perfection, when something deviates, we're not trusting that God has a plan and a time and a purpose for everything. We have the false God of our image of perfection. So really, I just want, myself included, everyone to be honest about what perfectionism really is. It's not this noble pursuit of everything. It's sort of just a really clever name that we've given to our plans and our designs. And if we need to be comfortable in the perceived imperfection of God's perfect will.
This is for all my perfectionists, the type A, the people who always need to be in control of every single thing in their life. Let me tell you something, and the Lord has been reminding me of this because I am one of those people. God has been breaking it off of me, but I've always identified myself as a perfectionist type A personality. We are not sovereign. We have no control over anything in this life. Nothing. You might think you have control, but you don't. And God is sovereign. He will literally show you that he is sovereign. There have been many times in this walk with him that he has shown me his sovereignty. I might think I have control of a situation, but God is truly the one that is in control. And he has been breaking and breaking and breaking and pruning that mindset of believing that I can control everything that's in my life, that I am in control of my life. When you surrender over to Jesus Christ, you are surrendering over also to God's sovereignty. You are surrendering over to the fact that I know nothing. This is why prideful people struggle to repent, because there has to be a humble part of you. There is a breaking in that surrender, right? There is a breaking that is there that you have to be okay with saying, I don't know what I'm doing, God. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. And this is why I'm trusting you. This is why God says, right, to not lean on your own understanding. Don't seek your own wisdom. Human wisdom is foolish to God because he is wisdom. He is in control. He is sovereign. He knows the beginning to the end. So for the people out there that are trying to control every single thing of their life, you're trying to control where you're supposed to go, what money is supposed to go where, what job you're supposed to have, all this stuff. You're trying to control your family, your friends, all these things, right? But let me tell you, we have no control. And even the little bit of control you think you might have in that situation, you don't. I really challenge you today to sit with that, surrendering to that. I'm telling you, it's very humbling. When I did this the other day, and the Lord was really, really ministering to me about this. And it also released a burden, because sometimes, and again, especially if you've been raised like this and you've always been this type of person that everything in your life needs to be perfect and that it all has to be in a specific way that you think is right. Think about Proverbs 19, verse 21. It says, "Many are the plans in the mind of man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand." God's will is going to be done. All we can do is surrender to his will, release the burden of perfectionism and control to God, to the one who is perfect and the one who's in control.
Perfectionism is literally anti-Christ, because it is you trying to be righteous and perfect in and of yourself, when the perfecting of God is really the maturity of God. When you focus more on maturity than you do making right decisions, then you make more aligned decisions as opposed to what you believe the right decision is. Because a lot of the times the right decision that we're looking for is really just having the most beneficial outcome for you, or the most beneficial outcome to the perspectives of others who you value more than your own well-being, your own discipline, or more than what God is actually trying to get out of you in a season or get you to understand in a particular phase of life. Because if you truly lived a life in the Spirit, as we are all called to do as believers, if you lived a life that was truly in the Spirit of God, your fear wouldn't be stopping you from making decisions. A Spirit-filled life is one that rebukes fear. Remember, there is no fear in love. And if you live in Christ, if in him you live, move, and have your being, then you live in love and not fear. And so for a lot of you who are over-analyzing and over-spiritualizing your decisions, it's actually exposing your lack of faith. And you're using faith as an excuse, and really it's faux faith, but you're using your excuse of faith as a way to over-spiritualize your lack of faith. If you truly had faith, you would make better decisions. If you truly had faith, you wouldn't make decisions at all. You would just make decisions because you would trust the God that is in you, that you have allowed to raise you, that you have allowed to refine you and show you how to make and to discern a situation so you can make the decisions that are in alignment with his will and your best interest. We also think sometimes that God is so just concerned with us making the perfect decision, when he has such a bird's eye view of things that the wrong decision can still be the right decision based off of what his ultimate plan is for you. Because God is not just trying to get you to be a robot that always computes and gets to the right outcome. His ultimate goal is actually to get you to look more like him. Not like you, not like the you that you think you should be by making all these perfect decisions. His goal is to get you to make more disciples by showing them, guess what? Like in this salvation, in this godliness, I don't have to be perfect to be loved. I actually, look at Paul's testimony. Look at Peter's testimony. Look at all the people in the Bible who didn't make perfect decisions, but they were used greatly by God. Now, I'm not saying we should just make mistakes for the sake of glorifying God, but what I am saying is when we do less of trying to perfect our decisions and more surrender and trusting God who lives in us, you will not only make better decisions, but you will have a more holistic life and a healthier view of God overall. Well, my point is, mature believers do not fear making decisions. Scared believers do. So if you really believe God is God, if you really walk with him, then you would be less scared to make decisions, because you would know that whether you do it right or whether you do it wrong, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose anyway. So you're going to trust the Spirit of God in you to help lead and guide you. And even when you can't hear him, to know that every step you take it will eventually be ordered by God or all come together. He can make every crooked path straight. The word is full of encouragement on how to trust God, whether you know what the next step is or whether you don't. So choose well, choose wisely, and choose from a place of confidence and faith instead of perfectionism and fear.
So don't beat yourself up, because I always say it literally. If I die before the good Lord comes back in the clouds on his great day, I want that on my tombstone. You cannot heal if you don't know you're sick. You cannot. And once you realize you're sick and what is wrong with you, then you can start the healing process. Then you can start the road to recovery. But a lot of us are blinded to the things that we struggle with and we don't know how to articulate it. And this is what my channel is all about. And I give God praise for that He has shown me so much that we deal with that we don't know that is hindering us from His kingdom and having a higher quality of life, from perfectionism, anxiety, people pleasing, not learning how to say no, overextending, and all these things that really hold us back. And if you watch until the end and this message resonate with you, leave a blue or white heart in the comments and comment below what other videos you want me to do. Even if you want me to continue to talk about perfectionism around this topic, comment below, or any other genres, and we'll see what the Lord has for us to say. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you in the next one.